Hello everyone, welcome to CSE Core Concepts in my series of machine learning algorithms with implementation in RStudio. In this video, I am going to demonstrate the hierarchical clustering approach. So in case if you have missed my earlier video on the theoretical portion of hierarchical clustering, I suggest you to please go through the video so that you can understand what was hierarchical clustering about. So basically, in case of hierarchical clustering, it is also a connectivity based clustering. So if you remember, and there were two types of hierarchical clustering. One is the Agglomerative and second is the Diana. So Agglomerative is the agglomerative clustering where you consider the bottom up approach. That is, each data point is considered as a cluster and they are grouped based on the nearest distance or the largest distance, whichever we decide. And second approach was the divisive clustering, which I am going to demonstrate in my next video. So in order to measure the distance between the cluster, we were using some other approaches like complete linkage, single linkage, average linkage, and ward method. Okay. So if you want to have a detailed understanding about the hierarchical cluster, you can go through my video on the hierarchical clustering. So this type of distance matrix has to be created the distance between the points and so that we can group them based on a particular method whichever we choose to. So let us first understand the data file which we are going to use here. So we are going to use the wine data set which we have already used in k-means clustering also. So there I had explained you that there are 13 variables which and based on this there are different categories of cluster grouping of wines. Okay, so these are the values. So first of all we are going to import the library cluster and read the wine data set, and you can see a data frame called wine data has been created having 178 observations of 13 variables. So if you see the structure of the wine data set, you can see there are all these are the variables which are used. Okay, and some are numeric and some are of type integer. So that does not matter here. So now we have to create this distance matrix which I had explained to you. Okay, so to create this distance matrix, we are going to use, okay, let's say distance matrix, I am saying the name, okay, is equals to the function which we is called as the distance function of the wine data set. It is going to compute, and the distance will be computed using the Euclidean distance method. Okay, so it will use the Euclidean distance to compute the distance between the two data points. See, here it was already given. Okay, this matrix I had given. So you may have been given points like P1 as is at this point, P2 is at this point, and you want to compute the distance between 2 points. So one of the popular measures is the Euclidean distance. Okay. So by using this distance function, it will compute the distance measure, and we can see the distance matrix using this value. So you can see this is a function which is being created. Now there were 178 observations. So you can understand that it is going to be huge. So this is how the distance matrix has been created. Okay, between the points, right? So now now it has omitted 172 rows. It has omitted. It is just showing you for the 6 rows. Okay, first 6 rows only it is showing you because it is very difficult to make the matrix for 178 observations here. So now let us perform clustering. Okay, so let's say we are having we are going to create the wine cluster. Now in this video I am going to show you the hierarchical clustering approach. So the function which will be used is hclust. Okay, so there we are going to pass the distance matrix, and there were various methods, if you remember, to compute the which distance wise you are going to group the cluster. So one is the complete linkage, which is going to compute the longest distance. Then is the single linkage that will compute the shortest distance, average distance, and the ward, that is based on variance. So let us take the shortest average method here. Let us consider the average method. You can try with other methods also, so that it will be very clear to you how does it varies. Okay, so we have done it using the average method, and let's see the cluster. So using the average method, the distance is computed using Euclidean and 178 objects have been used, right? So if you want to plot the cluster, let's see, plot. If you want to see the wine cluster data to be plotted, let's see. So if you zoom this image, you can see this is called as a dendrograms, right? So dendrograms are the hierarchical representation of the cluster. Now since there are 178 observation, you can even try with a small data set first so that it will be very easy for you to understand. So you can see they are grouped and this is the bigger picture. Understood? So this is how the small clusters, each individual point is considered as a cluster. So they are grouped into 2 points. Two are grouped into 3 points. Okay, you can see based on the similarity and the distance, average distance, they are being created, right? Now you can even see that if you want to see the plot of rectangular edge cluster, that is the wine cluster you want to see. So you want to see for k is equals to 3. Yeah, so border is equals to let's say red. So you can see they have ordered it, right? They have grouped. So majorly 3 clusters are formed. Okay. So this is this cluster if you want to see at the 3 level. Now if you want to change this, let's say if you want to see at the 5 levels. See, it is showing you 5 major clusters, right? This is first cluster, this is the second cluster, third cluster, fourth and fifth cluster. So as many cluster breakdown you want to see, check and see, you can see here. Okay. Then you can also label each data point if you want to. Wine cluster, let's say we can group the clusters is equals to CO3. Okay, this is the function which you can use. So you can pass the wine cluster into 5, let's say, category. And if you want to see the group, let's say wine cluster group. Okay. So this is how you can see. If you want to see this, okay, like grouping, okay, not in the figure form. So you can see the first 2 data points belong to cluster 1, the next belongs to cluster 2, the third one belongs to cluster 3, the fourth belongs to 4th, the fifth data point belongs to cluster 3 and so on. Understood? Now to compute the average spending, okay. So now if you want to see the relationship between 2 cluster, okay, or you can see the impact of one variable on the cluster. Let's see, for example, I can say, I can write down T apply, okay, T applies the function. So wine data alcohol. Let's say I want to see the alcohol content, wine cluster group, and I want to see the mean. Yes. So you can see based on the alcohol content, each cluster, each 5 of the clusters based on the alcohol, what is the mean value? That is for the first cluster, it is 13.68. For the second, it is 13.77, very close. Okay, 14.13, 13.01 and 12.54. You can see for other parameters also, like let's say wine data, you can, if you want to see flavonoids, okay, flavonoids, right? Wine cluster group, and you want to see the mean distance, okay, the average value. So you can see 2.8, first cluster is having this mean of flavonoids, average value of flavonoids. This is the second. So you can see for more functions also, sorry, more attributes also, like let's say you can say wine data, malic acid, okay, malic acid, then let's say wine cluster group and the mean, right? So if you want to see this, you can see this is the different mean average value for each cluster. Now I have computed this cluster using the average method. You can use the variance method also. So if you want to compute the cluster, if you want to group the cluster based on their variance, so of course you can do. So for variance, the method is VARD. Okay. So you can always use edge clustering. So you can use the distance matrix and method is equals to, you can say VARD. Okay, VARD will use the variance to compute the distance. So let's see, VARD has been renamed to VARD, that's okay. So it has been done, so it has been created and you can see the plots, right? You can see the plots. This is using the variance method, right? And you can see the groupings, 5. Okay, this you have done into 5 clusters. You can even make it 3 also, right? Then you can see the average values in each case, right? So this is how you can have your data. You can have your clusters. Now you can apply k-means algorithm also here on this wine data and you can see the cluster type, right? Let's say for example, if you want to compare between the two clustering algorithm, let's say you can also apply k-means over here, right? So if you are applying k-means on the wine data where you are using k is equals to 5. So wine cluster k, if you want to see, okay, so this is the cluster and you can see the class plot. You can plot using the k-means, which we have already discussed in k-means demonstration. Wine cluster, let's say cluster color is equals to true and shade is equals to true, labels is equals to 2, let's say, and lines is 0. So let's see the cluster. Wine data. Okay, so let us execute. Yeah, sorry. So I was using this wrong one. This is K. Okay, for the K means clustering. Okay, so let us see. Yeah, so we can see the cluster plot here. So you can see for different types, 5 clusters are being formed. This is the first cluster with purple color, second with blue, 3 with red, 4 with red, and 5 with green. Okay, so 5 clusters are being formed. So you can even match it with the hierarchical clustering also. Let's say if you want to see this cluster, just this clusters, so you can see that which cluster the data set belongs to, right? Like the first few clusters were first 3 data points are belonging to the 5th cluster in case of k-means clustering. But if you are looking at your and the hierarchical clustering, they are belonging to the first one. So the way of clustering gets changed when you change the method. See, this you have used the average method, award method, right? So you can have a comparison between the different clustering techniques and you can find out that which one is giving you the best results. Okay. So in my next video, we will discuss about the divisive clustering. Thank you for now and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to CSE Core Concepts. Thank you.